All right, let's break down one of the most debated and just plain weird match finishes in recent memory. We're talking about a moment so confusing it left absolutely everyone asking the exact same thing.
Right? It's the central question of this whole thing. How on earth can a superstar hit the most destructive match-ending move of the night and still, somehow, walk away without the championship? To figure that out, we have to go right back to the moment it all went down.
So this is it. This is the moment. Roman Reigns, digging down deep, just absolutely barrels into his rival, Brock Lesnar, with a spear so powerful they don't just hit the cage wall, they explode through it. It was an unbelievable, iconic finish that for some reason ended up as a loss for Reigns. So yeah, how did we even get here?
Look, to make any sense of that chaotic ending, we have to rewind. We have to understand the rivalry. This wasn't just another match. Oh no, this was the peak of a long, brutal feud between two of the biggest forces in the entire industry, with the biggest prize of them all hanging in the balance.
So in one corner, you've got Roman Reigns, the big dog. I mean, this guy was groomed to be the face of the company. He had a great record, but there was this one giant shadow looming over his entire career. He just could not get a win over Brock Lesnar. And in the other corner, you have the Beast, a true conqueror who wasn't just okay in a cage, he had never, ever lost one.
And you have to understand the pressure on Reigns was just immense. This wasn't just another title match. After failing against Lesnar on the biggest stages again and again, his whole story, his whole character was on the line. I mean, the commentators nailed it. You can only lose to the same guy so many times before you're just broken.
And just to put it into perspective, here's the mountain that Roman was trying to climb. Lesnar wasn't just a champion, he was on a historically dominant run, 390 days. He had this aura of being completely invincible. He wasn't just the final boss in a video game, he felt like an impossible one.
So that's the story, right? That's the narrative everyone's thinking about as these two head to the ring. It wasn't just about who was stronger, it was a psychological war. Reigns had to finally overcome the one man who always had his number. The stage was set. Okay, now this is where things get super important. To really get why this ending caused such an uproar, we have to talk about the rulebook. See, that steel cage, it's not just a weapon, it's a prison, and it has some very, very specific ways you can win.
So, the paths to victory are pretty straightforward, right? You can win the old-fashioned way, a pinfall or making the other guy tap out. Or you can do what the cage is literally designed for. You can escape it. Climb over the top, or just walk right out the door. Simple enough.
And this, right here, this is the single most important rule in this entire explainer. Seriously, the wording is absolutely critical. It's not about who gets out first, it's not about whose back hits the ground. The rule, as they said on the broadcast, is that to win, both of your feet have to hit the floor. Don't forget that part.
All right, so the stage is set, the rules are clear, and the bell rings. And what happened next was, well, just pure unadulterated war.
Right from the jump, Lesnar is just an absolute monster. He didn't just want to win this thing. The commentary team actually pointed out he asked for this cage match specifically to punish Roman Reigns. And he got right to it, basically treating Reigns less like an opponent and more like a chew toy.
And yeah, this line from the broadcast just perfectly sums up those brutal first few minutes. Lesnar just unleashed this relentless storm of German suplexes, showing off his pure power and setting this incredibly punishing tone for the rest of the match. It was a one-way ticket for sure.
But if there's one thing you know about Roman Reigns, it's that he just doesn't stay down. Despite that absolute beating, he fought his way back. He started landing his own big moves, those Superman punches and spears, and slowly, painfully, he started to drag himself back into the fight and turn the tables on the Beast.
And I mean, look at these numbers. They really paint a picture of just how brutal this was. You've got 4 German suplexes and 2 of Lesnar's F5 finishers. But on the flip side, Reigns hit 5 spears and just went to town with a steel chair. Both of these guys took an unbelievable amount of punishment, pushing each other past their limits.
So, you've got all this back and forth, all this brutality, and it all leads up to this one final insane moment that people are still talking about years later.
Reigns has Lesnar right where he wants him. He lines him up for one more spear, the 5th of the match, by the way. He charges with every last thing he has, and the impact is so huge that the steel wall of the cage just gives way, sending both men crashing down to the floor outside.
And here we go again. Remember that rule we talked about? Both feet have to hit the floor. As both men are lying in a heap on the outside, this is the only thing that's supposed to matter. But what happened next? Well, that's where it all gets messy.
So let's be super clear about the action here. This wasn't some accident. Roman Reigns, the challenger, hit a powerful offensive move that was the direct cause of both of them going through the cage. He was the one who made it happen. He was in control.
But, and here's the big but, as they crash through that wall, Lesnar is on his back. And as they fall, his body, his back and shoulders, hits the ringside floor a split second before Roman Reigns' feet do. The referee sees this, and he makes a call.
And boom! Just like that, the bell rings. The announcer makes the call. Even though he was just speared through a steel wall and was laid out on the floor, Brock Lesnar is declared the winner. He's still champion. And everyone, the fans, the commentators, and especially Roman Reigns, is left in a state of just total disbelief.
So this is why everyone was so confused and, honestly, kind of mad. Think about it. Reigns hits the winning move, but he loses. Lesnar wins the match while basically being unconscious. The ref's decisions seem to completely ignore that both feet rule we talked about, and instead he kind of just made up a new first body to the floor rule on the spot. It was a win on a technicality that felt like a total defeat in spirit.
And at the end of the day, it really all boils down to this one question, doesn't it? Was this the referee sticking to the rules even if it was a weird interpretation? Or was this a moment where the story, the logic of the fight, where the guy who hits the biggest move should win, was just thrown out the window for a shocking twist?